Welcome to Comic Toy Reviews, and this is a review of the high grade 1 to 144 scale Gundam Qan as a part of the 00 series. And this has the Full Saber attachment, which was part of a magazine that you had to get and was an extra piece, but it did not have it in the original kit. A great looking Gundam action figure, especially with the Full Saber, which I'll explain in a minute. It does have a base. It did include a base, but I just want to show you 360 view here. Just want to show you the style here. This is a shield right here, and this is a sword weapon on the other side. Originally, this did not include this sword weapon here and just a shield. I think it just looks better with the sword as it balances better in style. And he has a green sword here on his right hand. Unfortunately, once I get to the review, a lot of these pieces fall off very easily. And so while it looks great on display, if you try to move it around a little bit, you'll see that a lot of the pieces do fall apart on this one easier than they do on other Gundam action figures. And it did have the base, which is nice. Green base. Well, I just want to... It just looks really dynamic. Style-wise, it's excellent. And a lot of these pieces separate, as I'll talk about in the review. Like, these all little parts go out, and so do these parts here. Before I continue the review, though, this is the box art, and part of 00 series, and Wakening of the Trailblazer movie. You can see here it has all different parts, the action figure. It also has a little separate piece here for the sword, which I'll explain. Before I get to the review, I should mention that a lot of these pieces are just going to fall off on the review here, especially in regard to the weapons, so talk about it here. Just take it off the base here. The sword here, you saw it right there. The sword, unfortunately, falls out of the hand really easy, and this part, you gotta always put it on. It's hard to get it just right in terms of the sword detail. Same thing here. This sword weapon, it breaks apart easy into different weapons here. This one's supposed to become like a handgun. You could separate these sections here. You could even take out the top here. It's a separate part. And on this one, the shoulder piece here, you're supposed to take these off. So these green bits, this is a section, this is a section, this one, and this one. So at the end you're left with a shield that doesn't have much, and it looks very plain without it. But I can show you the articulation here. Without that piece. Side to side is really nice. Easy up and down. Shoulders up and down. You can go in and out a little bit. There is an upper bicep cut there. And double elbows. The wrist can go up. And you can 360 the hand. Same deal with the left hand. Instead of this open hand for the left hand, there is an extra part. You could have a fist for the left hand instead. The waist can go side to side. The hips, very easy, up and down. Upper thigh cut there, side to side. has double knees, and the ankles up and down, side to side, really pose well. This extra pot right here, it does swing around. You could detach it. You can move this pot around here. This is like a shield pot that you could swing in the back, as it happens in the movie. Plus it gets out of the way that way. The sword weapon, his primary weapon here, it's these handles go like this. Could also turn into like a makeshift type of gun, which really don't look too cool. And one of the gimmicks here is you're supposed to be able to take this pot out, then you take the sides here out. Okay. You take out the green saber pot, you put this pot, the other pot in. Plus it's supposed to form a buster sword when you get these other pots. And in the movie, when you assembled all the pots on the sword, it's supposed to form like a super gun, like that. But if you switch it around the pot at the top, it's supposed to form a buster sword, which is just a really huge sword here. Look at comparison. You can see how much bigger it is than the Gundam itself. And he holds the weapon here like a super blade. The positive and negative of this is, while it looks really cool as a weapon, if you make this sword, then the shield area here looks rather plain and uninteresting on this model kit. I mean, just look, it has nothing stand out or dynamic about it anymore. And you can't have both. You're either going to have a plain shield like this and a big cool sword, or just a regular sword with this pot and a fancy shield. And this action figure looks really cool when you add all the fancy extra full saber pots that I mentioned. The positive of this model kit with the full saber is it looks really nice and dynamic in posing. If you put it on the shelf and pose it just right, it's gonna look great as a Gundam and just as a model kit. Really nice. The negative of this model kit is I don't think it looks as cool without the extra full saber that you'd want to get, so it balances out and looks better. As I said, if you build this sword up like this, then the shield looks rather plain. And that a lot of the pieces compared to other kits fall off very easy. It's hard to pose the sword right on his hand, and a lot of the extra bits here and here just fall off easily. And even this sword is not too strong overall in design. So you just gotta take that into account. Overall, it's a great figure. I like it because once I set it up, I just leave it on display. And how I pose it is how you saw it, with just the full side weapon here, full shield, and just the regular sword to hold in his hand. I think that looks just great as a pose. But you do have some options here in how you want to pose it and display it. The 00 Qan, good figure. Could have been a little better, but I think it stands out nicely overall. So thanks for watching, and talk to you later.